MP Guyo Halake is dead. The former legislator was shot dead by unknown assailants last night in his house, located about 4 kilometers from Moyale town. According to eyewitnesses, Halake was relaxing in his house, chewing mirror, at around 8 p.m. when gunmen stormed into the house and shot him 4 times. He died on the spot. The attackers did not steal anything from the deceased's home. Halake, who was a prominent Borana leader, was a member of the local peace committee that has been advocating for peace in Moyale, where interclan fighting has left several people dead and dozens displaced from their homes. Halake's killing sparked off protests in Moyale, with a section of residents blocking roads and stopping the police from removing the body from his home. Tension is said to be high in Moyale following the killing, whose motive remains unknown. To some more disturbing news, at least 8 people were injured yesterday evening in a grenade attack at Bula Punda area in Garissa County. The attackers are said to have hurled a grenade at a crowd before speeding off. Police say the victims are all stable in hospital and no arrests have been made so far. The motive of the incident is yet to be established. The incident is the latest in similar attacks that have taken place in the area, including the murder of a matatu operator last evening in a robbery incident, and a separate murder of a CID officer who was shot dead by gunmen as he walked from a mosque last week. Police say they are looking for the attackers.
Ya sauti ya mlipuko, nikadhania ni maji yameingia kwa mafuta, kwa sababu nilikuwa karibu na mahali panapikiwa samaki. Ndio hapo nikasikia tu uchungu kidogo na nikashikilia sketi yangu. Kuingia kwa nyumba nikajipata niko na damu, nikajiangalia nikaona niko na jeraha, ndio nikajua ni kulipuka kumelipuliwa.
Sasa kuangalia chini nikaona kitu ina roll kama inanikujia. Kitu kaniambia hii kitu inaweza kuwa grenade. Bila nimelala chini hivi, hiyo kitu ikaroni mpaka ikakuja mpaka kwa upande wa mguu wangu, mali nilikuwa nimelala hivi ndio ikalipuka.
The case over the impeachment of Makueni Governor Professor Kivutha Kibwana has now been referred to Chief Justice Dr. Willy Mutunga. High Court Judge Lilian Mutende, sitting in Machakos, referred the case to the Chief Justice to constitute a 3-judge bench to hear the case, which is set to be mentioned on the 28th of this month. Makueni Governor Professor Kivutha Kibwana was impeached 2 weeks ago by Makueni County Assembly members who voted 35 to 10 to remove the governor from office over allegations of abetting corruption. Professor Kibwana's impeachment, the County Assembly had also moved to impeach 4 of Kibwana's executive committee members, including ministers for lands, water and agriculture.
Judge Mutende has just delivered, and we are happy that the 3-judge panel will consider the issues raised in the petition by the governor, and also to consider the weighty issues that the country has also raised as having formed the basis of the initial impeachment.
Now, governors have dismissed Treasury reports that they had been allocated 43% of the total budget. The county bosses say reports that the devolved units had received 28% more than the figure stipulated in the Constitution was incorrect and misleading. The Council of Governors is meeting in Kwale to map the way forward in their quest for more money to the counties. The governors are proposing radical changes in the formula used in allocating funds, saying the current formula is unfair to many counties. They say for devolution to succeed, counties receive the lion's share of the national budget.
We'll make a decision whether that formula is okay, whether it needs to be changed, and so on and so forth. It will be 3 years each. So we have done the first 3 years, now we are coming to the next end. The whole day today, if you look at
As we discuss this formula, it is also good to highlight that sharing of revenue should be based on the last audited accounts, which should be very, very current. Right now, we are having funds allocated to counties based on 09-010 financial year. I think it is also important that all the audited accounts are approved, so that then the formula we are discussing today can be applied to funds which are, or revenue which is current and collected in our country. So as now we have a new formula, resources will not be enough in specific areas. But there's another issue which also is unresolved, the issue of how do we then have benefits through natural resources in the various counties. I think if we also had a formula, if we had a very clear legislation on how sharing of the various resources in the various counties, then county governments would have an opportunity to have additional finances, not necessarily from the formula from CRA.
The split of monies between national government and county government. And part of the problem we have in this country today, I believe, is because CRA's mandate with respect to that has not been respected. The noises around the split of monies between counties and national government, the Pesa Mashinani talk, the Okoa talk, I think a lot of it could have been averted if an independent commission such as CRA was given a more prominent role, like they actually do in the Constitution, in determining how much should go to the counties.
Officials of the Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers, KUPPET, have stated that they are ready to give dialogue with the national government a chance. The union leaders had earlier this week told its members to brace for a major strike to push the government to increase their salaries. Despite opening up for dialogue, the leaders have warned the government that should it not meet their demands, they will move to court to compel them to implement their proposals, including live, risk and house allowances, as well as medical covers for their teachers.
You also realize that we approached the cabinet secretary to issue a letter of disagreement to enable us move forward with other modes of conflict resolution of this nature. So even this morning, we have instructed our lawyers to move with speed should nothing come out of tomorrow's planned meeting. Our lawyers will be seeking prayers from court, prayers which are not limited but exact on causing the government side to initiate a process which is controlled by timelines.
Now, as government struggles to keep teachers happy and learners toil through the 844 system, there is another side of the Kenyan education system which has caused a lot of shedding of tears and gnashing of teeth among hundreds of thousands of graduates. For instance, what would you say if you met a Kenyan with a master's degree who operates a motorcycle taxi for a living? You might think it's a joke until you watch the following story of one David Ananda.
34-year-old David Ananda exits his house ready for the day's hustle. This is another day among many for David, who has a degree in divinity from St. Paul's University and a master's from Korea. He spends hours on the road ferrying passengers to various destinations, all to ensure he puts food on the table.
I use a boda boda, that's a piki for my daily bread. So I carry people, and then maybe in a day I can get sometimes 700, sometimes 500. And the most amazing thing is that the piki belongs to my brother, who is younger than me. So he's like my employer.
David represents many graduates who are yet to reap the full benefits of Kenya's education system. Dr. Okwacha Bagi argues that most graduates absorbed in the labor market have jobs that don't match their qualifications.
So there's a mismatch between our education system at the university and what the employers are looking for.
Actually not doing exactly what I trained for, and I think maybe many people share the same predicament.
31-year-old Matthew perhaps fits well into the shoes David is wearing. He currently works as a driver, although he specialized in mechanical engineering.
If your work, what you have studied for will come on your way, the best thing, thank God. But if it doesn't, just do anything. One day, one time, God will come, and maybe you'll find yourself doing what you love doing most, or what you have studied for.
Matthew may, however, be among the lucky few who have found something to do. Education scholars and researchers reckon that only 25% of university graduates get meaningful employment in the Kenyan job market, leaving a whopping 75% to fend for themselves. The Kenya National Bureau of Statistics pegs university enrollment in 2013 at 201,690 for public universities and 37,672 for accredited private universities, meaning nearly 250,000 students joined institutions of higher learning just last year alone. A similar number is estimated to graduate after completing their studies. These numbers, experts say, may mean more graduates missing a place in the job market. Manifestation of graduate unemployment results from lack of needed skills among new recruits in the workplace, discrepancies between graduate expectations and market reality, lack of work experience, and inadequate labor market information.
There is definitely need to tailor-made the curriculum of our universities so that the people we churn out, all these students we churn out every year, really get employed somewhere.
David was once forced to apply for a cleaning position at a company in Western Kenya. He was, however, rejected on the basis of overqualification.
The HR looked at me and then he said, David, if I give you such kind of work, I'll be guilty the rest of my work, the rest of my life. So it's not easy for me to give you such kind of job. And in fact, if I was to give you such kind of job, people would not see the value in education.
The master's graduate fears the education system is tailored the wrong way.
If people go to such kind of level of academic excellence and then they get nothing, then at the end of the day, it means that people will not value education as such. It will just be a by the way.
He says graduates must now make do with what they have at their disposal. Timothy Otieno, KTN.
Quite unfortunate tales there. All the best to Ananda and so many other graduates who are going through the same thing. Let's move on to some good news. And more than 346,000 residents in Turkana County who are categorized as food and water insecure by the National Drought Management Authority after the discovery of billions of liters of fresh water under the Turkana County. Plans for harvesting of water and irrigation of farms have kicked off with 5 boreholes already sunk at Napu area of Lodwar. Masikandia reports.
Gushing treasure, an eruption of an otherwise rare and precious resource in the vast drylands of Turkana County. What is not a familiar scene from the vast Turkana region? Everyone getting as much as they can. This is one of the 5 boreholes at Napu within Lodwar area.
Hii chakula tunapanda saa hii atasaidia sisi sana kwa njia yote. Sisi tutawaonekana kama ni wanawake wa Turkana.
Someone finally walked the talk in beginning to harvest the rich aquifer with billions of liters of fresh water in the underbelly of Turkana County. And today, Napu residents enjoy the rare commodity. The older generation especially, they know too well of this resource, what they missed, and the huge benefit it would have for the future generations.
Tutapoteza njaa ambao kila wakati sisi ni watu wa kuomba chakula kutoka kwa rafiki ambao kutoka nje. Lakini sasa kuanzia wakati huu sasa tunaamini ya kwamba kama tutapunguliwa hii maji ambao iko katika sehemu hii ya Napu, tutapata chakula.
Napu is in Lotikipi Plains, where 207 billion cubic litre aquifer was discovered last year by the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO. The government plans to use the massive groundwater reserves under Turkana to irrigate 200,000 hectares at Napu. The Kerio Valley Development Authority kick-starting with a pilot project of 130 hectares.
One of our mandates under the regional development authorities, the ministry, is to support sustainable food security. And one activity that we'll do here is to ensure that the people of Napu will no longer need food aid, but they can grow their own food, feed themselves, and have enough surplus to sell to Lodwar town.
We're looking at cereals, all types of cereals. We're looking at fruits. We're also looking at vegetables. So, I mean, we'll try whichever is okay.
The aim is to produce more than 12 million bags of maize in the next 2 years, a move that could cut the country's maize deficit by 40%. Kenya consumes about 30 million bags of maize annually, and the residents here hope that with that amount of food in their stores, cases of cattle rustling will reduce.
Nafikiri mambo ya uhalifu ya watu kwenda kuibaiba mali za watu itakuwa napungua, maana kila mtu atakuwa analima.
Already more than 500 solar panels of 240 volts each have been mounted in the area to keep the 5 boreholes operational. The solar panel will help to pump 1,000 liters of water a minute and will be expected to serve private farms as well. Marcy Kandie, KTN, Turkana County.
Now, Swiss-based global retailer Dufry AG has signed a 10-year contract with the Kenya Airports Authority to manage duty-free shops at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. It has been a long wait for the Basel headquartered retailer after its initial tender win was questioned by 4 losing bidders as well as the Public Procurement Oversight Authority. But the deal signed on the 15th of October will see Dufry operate an excess of 751 square meters of retail space, which will include duty-free shops, cafes and restaurants, a communication and phone center, as well as a foreign exchange service until 2024. The commercial area will be located at the departure area of the newly opened Terminal 1A, with over 1,700 shops located at the airport's cruise liners, seaports and other touristic locations across the world. Dufry is one of the largest duty-free shop operators in the world, offering a wide range of products ranging from tobacco, alcohol, as well as fashion and assorted accessories. The group posted a turnover of $3.7 billion according to its 2013 audited accounts. The Airports Authority has over the last year invested heavily in JKIA as it seeks to make Nairobi a hub for global aviation. Let's move on to sports. Kenya's downward spiral in the FIFA rankings continued. The country's ranking moved south by 5 places to sit in position 116, down from 111 the same time last month. Now, Harambee Stars recently lost to Morocco in a friendly match in Casablanca. Morocco dropped 1 step down from position 87 to 88. Algeria are now the best team in Africa after moving up 5 places. Cape Verde Islands joined the most improving teams as they climbed up 8 steps to position 4. Ivory Coast, who have been struggling in the Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers, are second but also dropped points. Egypt jumped up 23 flights to 6th place behind Ghana, who dropped down 2 steps. Germany retained their overall position on the top of the world rankings ahead of Argentina and Colombia. That's how we wind up this edition of KTN News Desk. Thank you very much for watching. See you again tomorrow and have a blessed afternoon. I'm Betty Kialo.